Hi, you are watching the second episode of The Radical Crux. Today's video is all about you and how your experience of life is about to radically change and fast. So welcome to The Radical Crux, where we discuss extreme issues, radical ideas, and pivotal incentives. Before we dive in, I want to point out that for many people, the unfamiliar is very scary. So it's been roughly 400 years since the invention of the first rudimentary microscopes. Before then, we had no idea about a world that exists beyond what we can see with our eyes. Many, if not most people, don't give any thought to the invisible framework that we exist in because they see no practical application for it. Well, in today's episode, I'm going to show you why the invisible world matters and how a realm of very, very tiny components is radically revolutionizing the face of humanity and is going to continue to do so faster than we are prepared for.
Nanotechnology operates on a scale of 100 nanometers, or 100 billionths of a meter.
So nanotechnology, because it can access the world of the diminutive, a world not visible to the naked eye, is able to detect diseases such as cancer at a cellular level. So while MRI machines detect cancer once it grows to a certain size, nanobots can detect it at much earlier stages, which is something to get excited about. This is a microscopic nanobot that can be injected into your blood vessels to administer medicine and fight deadly diseases. This is the not too far off future. Check out these clips from a video made by Scope TV of nanobot innovations at the University of Technology in Queensland, Australia.
Look at the way water droplets form on this lotus leaf. This is because the leaf surface is made of tiny nanostructures that cause water to react this way. These droplets collect dirt on the leaf surface and then roll off, making the lotus leaf self-cleaning. And the gecko's ability to climb up anything but Teflon is thanks to the nanostructures in its hands. So this got us thinking. What if we could copy these nanostructures and rebuild them for human uses, like a protective layer on glass windows to make them self-cleaning? And what if we could create nanostructures that could climb through our body and repel diseases? So we're essentially hacking the building blocks of nature. But how do we construct these tiny nanostructures? Well, you need some very, very precise machinery. This is the Orion NanoFab helium-ion microscope. It fires out a focused ion beam from a tip which is 3 atoms wide. To put that in perspective, a single grain of sand has 800 billion atoms. The tip is the width of just 3, and I'm selecting 1. And the ions fired from the tip are used to carve nanostructures into almost any material, including copper and gold. Now admittedly, there's still a way to go before we have nanobots fighting cancer. But every day we're taking tiny steps towards huge breakthroughs. And with new machines like the helium-ion microscope, the future is at our fingertips. From healthcare to energy production, and even invisibility. Advances in nanostructure research across the world are making the impossible possible. So keep your eyes peeled for the next big discovery in this tiny field.
But not everyone likes the idea of little or microscopic bots that can go roaming through our blood vessels. Like for many people, the whole idea is definitely creepier than even spiders and snakes. One concern is that this technology can end up in the wrong hands to be used in maleficent ways and for inhumane practices in warfare, and these are legitimate concerns. Even so, I would argue that overall, with the advent of other technologies such as artificial intelligence, the results will be positive. I, for one, am convinced that artificial intelligence will raise our mental etiquette, but I will save that topic for another video. Let's move on to more positive things like this self-assembling origami bot.
We have designed and built an origami robot that gets up and goes. In other words, the robot forms itself on the spot, accomplishes tasks, and then it disappears by degradation. The robot self-assembles using a folding process that is triggered by heating. After this, the robot can run along designated trajectories, it can carry objects, it can clear obstacles, it can swim, it can execute a variety of tasks. And when these tasks are done, the robot can recycle itself by dissolving its body into a liquid. The robot's body has embedded in it a small magnet, and this allows us to control the robot by programming a magnetic field. In other words, the robot has external programmable actuation. Origami-inspired robot designs have the potential to be faster, cheaper, and easier to fabricate than robots created using traditional manufacturing processes.
It is easier for such a system to be used closer to humans, such as in the human body. For example, you could regard this robot as a controllable drug capsule or a surgical tool which can be removed after its use in the body.
You can imagine ingesting these robots and then controlling where they travel in the body. And once they arrive at the correct location, they could form themselves into active instruments that can actually manipulate and help through the healing processes. For the short term, we see these robots as potentially extremely useful in inspection tasks because they are small and they can travel through very intricate, small, narrow pipelines that are difficult to inspect with today's technology.
South Korean scientists have developed nanorobots that can detect and treat cancer cells. The robot is a genetically modified bacterium only 20 microns in diameter. And by delivering drugs directly to the tumor, it attacks the cancer while leaving healthy cells alone, sparing the patient from the side effects of chemotherapy. The treatment is expected to be put into medical use in 5 years.
This is a nanobot used to perform medical procedures inside the human eye. This is the not so far off future.
A world first. Never before has a robot been used to operate inside the eye. This is delicate surgery involving tiny, precise movements to remove a membrane which is causing Bill's sight loss. Crucially, the robot can filter out the surgeon's hand tremors. The robot has to pivot around a tiny hole in the wall of the eye. Inside, it removes a membrane just 1/100th of a millimeter thick, shown in blue, which is covering the retina, allowing the hole in the retina to close.
But if you could hold your watch face up, just put your head down.
Just a few days later, and the results are clear.
Can see it's 22 minutes past 9.
And before long, his distance vision will return to normal.
It's almost the world of fairy tales, but it's true. It's the difference between being active and doing the things I need to do and enjoying art and enjoying life.
The surgeon says the robot was more accurate than the human hand.
I think we're going to go into a new era of eye surgery where we're going to be placing things at the back of the eye under the retina very much more accurately and with much greater precision than we do at the moment. We can certainly improve on the current operations, but I very much hope that we can do new operations that currently we can't do with the human hand. We can now do them with the robot.
So with nanotechnology, we will be able to cure fatal diseases and restore vision. Let's move on to its role in the human brain. So far we have seen that using nanotechnology we will be curing fatal diseases, restoring vision, improving and or curing mental disorders, and improving memories and physical disabilities. And if that's not enough,
with nanotechnology, you're dealing with atoms, right? The building blocks of the physical world. So if all the miracles of computation and information technology are living in this space of ones and zeros, they can be made into the 100,000 songs in your pocket. They can be made into miraculous devices that let you make wormholes that talk to other people across the world. All that ones and zeros. When we're able to do that, when we're able to play the instruments just like we do in the digital space, but with atoms, then all the physical world will be as manipulatable as digital. Oh man, that's it. Like we've transcended. Like we're done at that point, you know? We're playing with atoms. We're gods.
if you have any comments or questions, please submit them in the field below, and if you like our video, please click the like button, and thank you for watching.